The Disappearing Town of Eldergrove. In the dense, shadowy forests of the Pacific Northwest, there was a small town called Eldergrove that most maps didn't even show. It was a quaint, picturesque town with cobblestone streets, charming houses, and a close-knit community. But there was something eerie about Eldergrove, something that made those who visited uneasy. It was as if the town itself was hiding a dark secret. One summer, a group of friends, Sam, Claire, Mike, and Emily, decided to take a road trip to explore forgotten places. They had heard whispers of Eldergrove, a town where people seemed to vanish without a trace, and their curiosity got the better of them. Armed with cameras, flashlights, and a sense of adventure, they set off to uncover the truth behind the rumors. The drive through the forest was long and winding, the trees growing denser with each passing mile. Eventually, they reached a clearing where the town of Eldergrove lay, bathed in the soft glow of the setting sun. The town appeared almost frozen in time, its buildings untouched by modernity. The friends parked their car and began to explore. The streets were eerily quiet, and the air was thick with an unsettling stillness. As they wandered through the town, they noticed that there were no people around. Houses were abandoned, shops stood empty, and there was no sign of life. It was as if the entire population had simply vanished. "Maybe they're just inside," Claire suggested, trying to sound hopeful. "Or maybe we should leave," Emily replied, shivering despite the warm evening air. Ignoring their unease, they continued to explore. They found a small cafe with a calendar on the wall, the date frozen several years in the past. In the town square, they discovered an old fountain, its water stagnant and covered with a thin layer of green algae. There was something profoundly wrong with this place, and they could all feel it. As dusk fell, they decided to set up camp just outside the town, unwilling to spend the night within its eerie confines. They built a small fire and tried to shake off the unsettling feeling that had settled over them. The forest around them seemed to close in, the trees whispering secrets in the night breeze. In the middle of the night, Sam was jolted awake by a strange sound, a low, mournful wail that seemed to echo from the heart of Eldergrove. He woke the others, and they listened in silence, their faces pale with fear. The wailing grew louder, accompanied by the faint sound of footsteps shuffling through the streets. "We need to see what's going on," Mike said, grabbing a flashlight. Reluctantly, the others agreed, and they made their way back into the town. The streets were shrouded in an unnatural fog that seemed to glow with an otherworldly light. The wailing grew louder as they approached the town square, where they saw shadowy figures moving in the mist. Drawing closer, they realized the figures were the missing townspeople, their faces blank and eyes hollow. They moved with a slow, jerky gait, as if being pulled by invisible strings. In the center of the square stood an ancient tree, its gnarled branches reaching out like skeletal hands. At its base was a large, stone well from which the eerie wailing emanated. As they watched in horror, the ghostly townspeople began to vanish one by one, drawn into the well by an unseen force. The friends tried to back away, but their legs felt heavy, and they found themselves rooted to the spot. Suddenly, the ground beneath them began to tremble, and a cold, dark mist seeped from the well, enveloping them. They felt an overwhelming sense of dread as the mist pulled them towards the ancient tree. Claire screamed as she was the first to be drawn into the well, her body disappearing into the darkness. One by one, the others were pulled in, their cries for help swallowed by the wailing fog. Sam was the last to be taken. As he was pulled towards the well, he saw a vision of the town's past, how the villagers had made a pact with an ancient, malevolent spirit to protect their town from outsiders. In return, the spirit demanded souls, and whenever the town was threatened by discovery, it would disappear, taking its inhabitants with it. Sam's vision faded as he was pulled into the well, the darkness closing in around him. The last thing he heard was the mournful wail, a sound that would haunt his soul for eternity. The next morning, Eldergrove was gone, leaving no trace of its existence. The clearing in the forest was empty, as if the town had never been there. The friend's car sat abandoned at the edge of the forest, its doors open and its occupants missing. Years later, hikers occasionally reported strange noises and eerie lights in the forest near where Eldergrove once stood. But no one who ventured too close ever returned to tell the tale. The legend of the disappearing town lived on, a chilling reminder of the dark secrets that lay hidden in the heart of the forest.